Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let's start with Senegal, where President Macky Sall has been re-elected into office. Mr. Sall won a second term of 5 years following Sunday's election, where he polled 58% of the votes. In the poll, he faced 4 challenges, but was accused of preventing some of his main rivals from running. The opposition candidates have rejected the results. So what will they do now? Challenge the result in court? Well, they have said it will be futile and it's not on the table for now. Idrissa Seck, a former prime minister who came second with 21% of the vote, said he had discussed the result at his home with 3 other opposition candidates. So far, we now have the results from last weekend's election, beginning with Nigeria and now Senegal, where President Macky Sall has been re-elected into office.
Pour parler justement de cette élection,
Sheikh Tindiane Gadjo, former Senegalese foreign minister, is on the line to talk about the re-election of candidate Macky Sall. Thank you for joining us. First question, what do you make of the re-election of Macky Sall with more than 58% of the votes? Was this an unexpected result?
Pas du tout, dans la mesure où il m'a semblé qu'il
Not
avait...
at all. As I see it, he had 2 fundamental points that were somewhat in his favor. The first point is that he had 7 years to carry out his program, even with plans to improve on it. This very program on which he was elected in 2012, he made it into a strategic vision that he called the Emerging Senegal. He was also fortunate to be able to complete all the work left by his predecessor, President Wade. But on the other hand, something else that was a little to his advantage is that the president prepared well and expanded his coalition. For the first time in Senegal's history, a winning coalition in 2012 remained intact in 2017. So he broadened his base rather than restrict it. And that being said, in politics, as soon as you leave a bill to subtraction, it means you're losing power. In his case, he expanded. Several observers have accused Macky Sall of having damaged the image of the Senegalese democracy following the exclusion of Karim Wade and Khalifa Sall. Do you agree? I don't think it's the way you have put it. There have been indeed court cases. Some have made a political interpretation of these court cases. In the case of Wade's son, for example, I think it's 100% a judicial case. I don't see any political aspect in it fundamentally because I'm not sure that the political weight that is given to Wade's son corresponds to reality. So I think it's much more complex than the issue of Mayor Khalifa Sall. I wish this situation hadn't happened and that Khalifa was still in the presidential coalition with Macky Sall. It didn't happen that way. We're in a situation where I sincerely hope that among the first actions taken by Macky Sall too, that is the second term of President Macky Sall, there will be fundamental reconciliation with the release of Khalifa Sall. I pray that President Sall will take this decision quickly and that Khalifa will regain his freedom, regain all his rights, and be able to play the role of this country. Many Senegalese are competent to work for Senegal.
If I may ask, Mr. Gadjo, if you were to advise President Macky Sall for this second term that he has gotten, what would you say to him?
I would say that he has all the cards in his hands to make an excellent second term, all the assets, because it's the mandate free of worry of the future mandate. It's really a mandate free of any other concern than to succeed in an excellent way and to go out through the front door. Then I'll tell him that African Senegal cannot develop without the diaspora. We have excellent African skills in Canada, the United States, Europe, all over the world. We need these skills. They need to feel invited, loved, wanted, attracted to come and work for their country, to work for Africa. I would also ask him to insist on agriculture as a precondition for development. No country in the world has succeeded in its development without addressing the issue of agriculture and food security. The first of sovereignty is to be able to feed its people, and I think that President Macky Sall will do that. Finally, I'll tell him that the emergence of Senegal without African integration is not possible. No individual ride will be successful in Africa. On the contrary, all individuals will lead to collective failure.